The shredder uses the interaction between the moving knife and the fixed knife to control the discharge particle size through the screen. Crushing, shearing and extruding materials to process them into smaller sizes. It has the characteristics of small discharge particle size, replaceable screen, wide application range and high efficiency. It is widely used in the fields of resource regeneration, domestic waste-derived fuel, RDF, production, and waste reduction. The shredder motor shaft rotates at high speed during operation. Hydraulic shears usually have an aluminum alloy housing with a blade forged from hot-rolled steel. Pistons and piston push rods are usually made of hot-rolled alloy steel. Hydraulic shears are mainly used to cut materials such as sheet metal and plastic. Often, they are used to cut open cars and other vehicles to free truck passengers. Like hydraulic spreaders, hydraulic shears can also be powered by gasoline drives. Rescue jaw systems can be powered by electricity, air, or hydraulics. Unlike hydraulic spreaders, hydraulic scissors are curved claw-like extensions with pointed ends. As with hydraulic expanders, hydraulic fluid flows into the hydraulic cylinder and applies pressure to the piston. The opening and closing of the blade depends on the direction of power applied to the piston. When the piston push rod rises, the blade opens. As the piston rod descends, the blade begins to close towards an object, such as the roof of a car, and cut it open. Welding, also known as welding, is a manufacturing process and technique for joining metals or other thermoplastic materials such as plastics by heat, high temperature, or high pressure. Resistance welding was developed during the last decade, 19th century, and the first patent on resistance welding was filed in 1885 by L.U. Thompson, who continued to improve the technique over the next 15 years. Aluminothermic welding and combustible gas welding were invented in 1893. Edmund Davy discovered acetylene in 1836, and by around 1900, combustible gas welding began to gain widespread use thanks to a new type of gas torch. Combustible gas welding has been one of the most popular welding techniques in the beginning due to its cheapness and good mobility. However, with the continuous improvement of the metal coating technology on the electrode surface by engineers in the 20th century, that is, the development of flux, The new electrode can provide a more stable arc and can effectively isolate the base metal and impurities. It can gradually replace combustible welding and become the most widely used industrial welding technology. Steel bar straightening is the process of using a steel bar straightening machine to straighten the bent steel bars through tension for ease of processing. Used in the original mechanical straightening and fixed-length cutting machine, the steel bars come out from the wheel rack and enter the barrel. Adjust the adjusting screws of the straightening block appropriately, and fasten the straightening block at different eccentric positions, so that the different steel bars of different sizes or properties are straightened. The straightening schemes include Gaussian curve, sine curve, and cosine curve, which are suitable for steel bars with different diameters and different yield strengths. 2. After straightening multiple rebars, the straightening block will be worn. At this time, the eccentricity should be adjusted to ensure the straightening effect. The main transmission box of the straightening machine and the traction pressure roller. The mechanical deceleration mechanism in the transmission box reduces the motor speed and drives the active pressure roller, upper pressure roller, to rotate. When feeding, turn an eccentric handle to lift the upper pressure roller. Pass the steel bar through the V-shaped groove between the upper pressure roller and the lower pressure roller, passive pressure roller, and then reverse the eccentric handle to make the upper pressure roller. Put it down, and the upper and lower pressing rollers are in state of clamping the steel bar. The material is pressed between the two pressure rollers, and the strength of the adjusted steel bar depends on the clamping force between the pressure rollers.
我把梦撕了一页，不懂明天该怎么写，能不能得解，能不能得到。
螺丝一 Annealing. Heat the wire to an appropriate temperature. Keep it for a certain period of time, and then slowly cool it down to adjust the crystal structure, reduce the hardness, and improve the workability of the wire at room temperature. R. Pickling. The oxide film on the surface of the wire is removed, and a layer of phosphate film is formed on the metal surface to reduce the scratches on the tool and die during the wire drawing. Cold piercing or forming process. Sand draw the wire. Cold draw the plate element to the desired wire diameter. Practically, for some products, it can be divided into two stages: rough extraction, shelling, and fine extraction. Sword forming. The wire is cold forged or hot forged to achieve the shape and length or thickness of the semi-finished product. 5. Rolling teeth. The formed semi-finished product is rolled or tacked to achieve the desired effect. In practice, the bolts, screws are called rolling teeth, the tooth bars are called rolling teeth, and the nuts are